The movie begins in northern Iraq. Amidst this city of dugouts, a kid frickin' parkours his way to a priest. And that something is a dirty demon sculpture. The movie begins with an outtake from Minnie the Moocher. The movie begins in a college town. You can tell by the college crew. It's Jordan. The movie begins with an ominous Bible verse setting up the theme of spectacle. We get a brief glimpse at a balancing shoe and a fourth wall breaking bloody monkey, but we'll have to come back to this horrific scene later. The movie begins with awesome miniatures doing awesome shit. Blow that skull up, Robo-Mofo! And a soldier too, sure, yeah! Let's start counting right off the bat. The movie begins by saying it's a true story. It is not. John Waters is just a little stinker like that. The movie begins with a bunch of kids chanting the killers are coming.
Killers are coming. Killers are coming. Killers are coming.
The movie begins in a high school storage room. Yo, they got some puppets in that trunk? Nope, just a title card. The movie begins with the world's greatest title song. The movie begins with a kid's dog dying.
She got old and died, now I'm alone again.
The movie begins with an animation that gives us a little creature backstory. It shows a romantic bachelor from the 19th century who fails to woo a lady with his piano playing. The movie begins with suburbia, paperboy and all. This crane shot's suspicious of this house over here, so maybe we should check inside. The movie begins with exposition sponsored by Audible.
Do you want to hear a story? I have to warn you, it's a disturbing one.
The movie begins with a swelling score and the same barn doors as X. But while X used those doors to tease a 4x3 framing, Pearl opens them wide into a technicolor world. The movie begins with a prayer. Sister Mary is asking for strength before she plays a game of Don't Wake Daddy, if Daddy were not, if she's a nut. Or the movie begins with the sound of gunshots.
Daddy.
Pedro and his brother Jaime aren't sure if they came from their land or the forest next to them. The movie begins down by the beach, boy! This is a mysterious foreshadowing shot that gives you a glimpse of something yet to come. It's also a nice way to show off this movie's cinematography. Get ready to see lots of gorgeous wide shots. The movie begins with a production card, and then another, and then another. And would you motherfuckers believe me if I told you there were 6 more after those? Because there are, no shit. This thing has straight up 9 production cards. What, did each of these companies throw in like $5 to make this thing? The movie begins with a title card. The beach that makes you title card. The movie begins with an assertion. This shit all really happened for real. The movie begins by establishing the small town setting of Winter River, Connecticut. Love this long flyover shot. Of course, where there's flies, there's giant spiders! Oh my god! Just kidding. Pressing play. Damn, that's a nostalgic shade of blue. It's the color of VCRs and infomercial order screens. The music video begins with an early morning arsenal. No slim pickings here. Oh, and peep the duct tape from the Please 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 music video. I guess this is Teddy Berry Kyogen. The movie begins with dancing. As our titular tiny dancer rehearses her routine. Yep, there she is. It's Abigail. The movie begins with, wait, tits? Do I have the right movie? Are we sure this is really VHS? Yes, it is. This one's even got a dog waving around. The movie begins with a father-son swamp trip. Gotta love gator hunting with your pop. The movie begins with a butt blowing in the breeze. Wow, a butt this time. That's different than the usual boobs. Oh, never mind. The movie begins with opening credits that almost look like comic book panels. I like it. We're in deserted ass, run down like a motherfucking Nevada. The movie begins with the production card, and then another, and then another. And would you motherfuckers believe me if it's 7? There are 7 of them. I joke, but I do love to see people pitching together to make a movie. And with narration by Angus Scrimm, who played the tall man in Phantasm. Another early podcast episode. He says that Jinn lived between heaven and earth, and if one grants 3 wishes, he'll take over the world. In other words,
fear the Jinn.
The movie begins with a stop-motion military short. At first, it seems like something a child would make, but pretty quickly you realize how creative and well done it is. I mean, it's got a rack focus. The movie begins with a Star Wars crawl. What is this, an internet video from 2003? The movie begins with scrambled signals, a bunch of random clips, including a monster truck rally. Wow, that thing was foretold back in VHS 94. The movie begins on Halloween night in 2019, exactly 1 year after the events of the first 2 movies. The movie begins with some Martian music.
The person of hardened skepticism, just like the person of hardened credulity, cannot be reached.
The movie begins with a quote saying not to be a homebody. Go outside, step into some dew.